Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Bite-Sized Buhl. Today we are celebrating LGBTQIA+ STEM Day and shining visibility on pioneers in NASA and astronomy, aerospace exploration. And we hope you enjoy our tour through history and the past and present and future of some exciting discoveries and the pioneers behind them. My name is Mike Hennessy. I'm the manager of Buhl Planetarium, and I'm joined today by my colleague.
Hi, everyone. I'm Carissa Cedor, and I am the producer in the Buhl Planetarium and Observatory. And we are really excited. We have some awesome things to show you today. So, Mike, why don't you get us started?
Yeah, so we wanted to pick a couple of our own inspirations and share a little bit about who they are and the science they discovered. And I'm going to get us started by talking about one of my inspirations. So we're going to go to a slideshow real quick. This is Troy Hudson. He's an instrument system engineer at NASA. He grew up in the early 1980s, as I did, and was inspired by the Voyager spacecrafts flying by Saturn and the other gas giants at the same time. The space shuttle program, which we'll hear about a little later, just taking off for many young kids in the 80s. That was a big inspiration. And also watching Carl Sagan's Cosmos with his mom. And his mom is a teacher, is an inspiration. He grew up to be a doctorate in geological and planetary sciences. Now, as an instrument systems engineer, his job is to look at his own component of the spacecraft, but also the big picture of how all the pieces fit together, how it works with other systems. And Troy works on InSight. InSight is not a rover, but it's an important probe on the surface of Mars. It stands for the Interior Exploration Using Seismic Investigations, Geodesy, and Heat Transport. You gotta love those acronyms, but it's NASA InSight. And it's there to study the Martian inner space, the crust, the mantle, the core of the planet. Here you can see the solar panels that unfurled when it first landed. I actually got to be part of the landing party here at the Science Center and celebrate its landing live while that was taking place on Mars. InSight went to Mars to study basically the vital signs of the planet. So looking at the temperature, the heat flow underneath, the reflexes, the planet's motion and the wobble in its motion on its axis, and most importantly, its pulse. It has a seismometer that it deployed on the surface to take the pulse of the planet. And what we found is that there were actually, during InSight's tenure and its work on Mars, it measured over 500 Mars quakes. Now, those Mars quakes don't happen for the same reason that you have earthquakes. You don't have tectonic plates like you have on Earth. But as Mars has been cooling over time, stress can build up, and eventually that can cause cracks in the crust and some quakes. And by measuring all of those Mars quakes, InSight was able to give us a measurement of the core of Mars. It turns out it's about a little over 1,100 miles wide. It's about half the size of Earth's core, and it turned up a few surprises for us. It's made of lighter elements than we thought. And it also recorded sounds of Martian winds. So I wanted to start today by celebrating Troy Hudson, an LGBT pioneer at NASA who helped to bring the InSight mission to life. And I have one more image of Mars to show you all. This is a crater on Mars, on the southeast of Mars. It's named for James Pollock. And he was a gay astrophysicist at Ames Research Center and a pioneer at NASA as well. So he overcame many things. He overcame not only discrimination as a member of the LGBT community, but also difficulty in verbalizing, which he worked really hard on as a child and carried through to his adult life. He spoke very slowly and intentionally, and became a huge success in science. He was an avid rocket scientist growing up, loved building model rockets, was a valedictorian at his high school, went on to advanced degrees in nuclear physics and atmospheric science. This is a crater that's named for him on Mars, and he basically his name's attached to all the great space probes that went out and explored Mars, Venus, as well as the gas giants. And I'm going to stop my share for a moment. Carissa's going to start flying in Digistar for us right now, the same software we use at Buhl Planetarium, and take us to Saturn. Some of the data we'll see here, what we're visualizing, is inspired by what we first learned from the Voyager space probes. Now, James Pollock theorized what Saturn's rings were made of. He realized that they weren't giving off any radio emissions, but they were strong radar reflectors. And James realized that they were made of water ice particles, which can range from the size of a grain of sand all the way up to being several meters in width. We've actually got particles in Saturn's rings that can be as big as a house. And so while they look like that beautiful gold phonograph from a distance, Carissa's going to fly us in, and we'll take a look at those dazzling rings. So it's exciting that James Pollock was able to predict what Voyager and later space probes have been able to teach us about Saturn's rings. James was also critical to the Galileo mission, which explored Jupiter and its moons. He helped us understand the wide variety of geology that we see in Jupiter's moons, from volcanic moons like Io that are hot and very close to Jupiter, to moons that orbit farther out that are icy ocean systems. So I just wanted to start today off by sharing about two of my personal heroes at NASA, and I'm going to kick it over to you, Carissa.
Thanks, Mike. So we're going to keep looking over at our fun view here because I wanted to talk about one of my heroes, who is Sally Ride, who is a famous NASA astronaut. She was the first American woman in space. And she was, in fact, the third woman in space altogether after two Russian cosmonauts. And she got to do some really amazing things in her time. She had an incredible career. She studied physics in school, but she also took a break from her studies for a while to actually pursue a professional tennis career. And she was very talented at playing tennis. She even got to play against Billie Jean King. So she had a really great success with that. But of course, she found her true passion was studying physics, and she knew she wanted to go to space when she saw actually an ad in the newspaper that NASA had put out for applications for astronauts. And so she was brought in with NASA's Group 8. It was the first astronaut class that was accepting women as applicants. And she was one of 35 out of almost 8,000 applicants for that particular astronaut class. So her talents were definitely appreciated there. She flew aboard two space shuttle missions. So she flew aboard STS-7 on the Challenger Space Shuttle Challenger. And she also flew aboard STS-41G. And for her time on STS-7, her job actually was to control the robotic arm that's on the space shuttle. It's built by Canada. It's called the Canadarm. And it is a robotic arm that helps deploy things from the shuttle cargo bay. And so it was actually Sally's job to control this arm and safely deploy and actually recollect satellite from the cargo bay of the space shuttle. So that is what she got to do on her first space flight. And she, after her career at NASA, continued to work and was very passionate about getting women and girls in particular interested in science and excited about space. So she actually worked with her partner, Tam, to create a series of children's books to get kids excited about science. And actually their book called The Third Planet, Exploring the Earth from Space even won the Children's Science Writing Award in 1995 from the American Institute of Physics. And in 2013, she was posthumously granted the Presidential Medal of Freedom from President Obama. And he said, as the first American woman in space, Sally did not just break the stratospheric glass ceiling, she blasted through it. And when she came back to Earth, she devoted her life to helping girls excel in fields like math, science, and engineering. So it's always amazing to celebrate Sally Ride's amazing career. absolutely shattering the glass ceiling, right? Blasting through it in the space shuttle and looking at all the things that she's achieved, but also all the people she's inspired. A lot of female astronauts nowadays too refer to Sally Ride as kind of that first push to pursue something like this. So always like to remember Sally Ride.
All right, thanks, Carissa. Yeah, so those are just a few of our heroes. That was exciting to learn about Sally Ride. And this is a great opportunity, I think, today. You know, the mission of NASA and the passion of astronomers in general is to explore the universe, and we're always doing that with tools that let us see beyond our view of the visible light spectrum. We're able to see the unseen with our scientific instruments. And that's the goal of astronomy, is to make all those unseen things visible. What I love about this day is it's a chance to give pioneers who may be unseen or underrepresented a chance to be visible and celebrated. We've got one other exciting thing, I think, to talk about today, and that's a celestial event you can see in the night sky if the rain holds off. And that is a partial lunar eclipse.
That's right. Yep. Early this morning, well, early tomorrow morning, I guess, right? Around 4 a.m. is when the maximum eclipse will occur here in Pittsburgh. And we'll have a chance to see the Earth's shadow actually start to cover up the moon. Around 1 a.m. is when the partial eclipse will start. And I think, you know, partial eclipses are still very exciting, even though we won't get to see a full total lunar eclipse. You'll still get to start to see the Earth's shadow and kind of the curve of that shadow, the curve of the Earth on the moon, which is always really exciting to see. You will have to be either stay up very late or wake up very early to see it, or just stay up all night, because why not?
All right, so happy moon gazing, and if the weather doesn't hold, happy stargazing in the days ahead. But thanks for joining us and for celebrating our pride in STEM. And we hope you come visit us on site at the Buhl Planetarium and take a tour through the night sky. Or see some of our other exciting shows. This weekend is Space Out Astronomy Weekend, so anyone in Pittsburgh, come on down. We've got all of our brand new shows in Buhl Planetarium to check out. We have 4 floors of activities taking place though as well. So throughout Carnegie Science Center, we'll have our educators and also local partners on hand to come up and learn more about astronomy and space exploration. So come on down and see us this Saturday or Sunday for Space Out Weekend.
And thanks again, everyone, for joining us today. Have a great day.